Awesome. Episode 22.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure Taylor Swift has a song about 22 episodes of a podcast or something.
It's about us.
Yeah, 100%. You know she's always been ahead of her time. How's your week been, Hori?
Stressful in a way. I've got like a million different things coming up, or it feels like a million different things, and my brain's just like too
Are you
many.
in plate spinning mode?
Oh, so many plates. So many plates feel like they're falling. I'm so bad with like the way my brain is. Like I just can't plan anything really over a week away. Is difficult for me to focus on and plan. So trying to plan 2 weeks ahead, I'm like, my brain's melting.
Well, I mean, we're both pretty open about the fact that while we aren't diagnosed, it is almost certain that we have ADHD.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, at some point I will get around to being diagnosed, but there's the fear around diagnosis and medication and stuff. But anyway, that's not time for this. My point was just going to be, for people with ADHD, there is two times. There is now and not now. Which is why
Feel that.
which is why we struggle so much with anything more than now.
Yeah.
And like for a lot of hard work, me and you managed to like be like a week planning maybe sometimes, but then it feels like you can plan a week ahead and then after 3 minutes it's all gone to shit. So what's the point?
So yeah, it's like
it's rough out here.
Yeah, I can plan like a week ahead, no problem. Anything past that, it's just like it can wait. But then the problem I've got is next Friday, I'm away for the weekend, then I go straight from that weekend away to London for Rocket League. So like, I have to plan for London and trying to like get my head around all that and doing work and projects. Plus like, it's like Father's Day coming up, birthdays coming up, like trying to plan that stuff as well. I'm just like, this is too. My brain just wants to switch off and play Rust or games.
Yeah,
like...
we just need a pause button.
But yeah, that's how my week's been. Although I'm getting there. I'm almost organised. My plans for London are now set.
Awesome.
I'm like there from the 28th, I think is the Tuesday, till like the 1st. No, till the 4th, Monday the 4th. I'm there for like a week.
Do you have any free time for us to just have beverages as friends?
So I was going to suggest, because it's my birthday while I'm in London.
Yeah.
Which I think is the Thursday. I was going to put in the thing.
30th.
Yeah. Whether people wanted to come into London.
What, on the Friday or on the Thursday?
On the Thursday. Or like something. We'll plan something.
We'll talk to boys and we will get something going for sure. If you're already down in London anyway, it'd be rude not to try and make something happen.
But I've got so I'm in a Premier Inn for the first few days, and then I'm swapping to my cousins for the weekend.
Nice.
But yeah, that's my week. How's your week been?
I think I said this last week. It's been one of the ones where the week seems to have just disappeared.
Yes.
But also manic the entire time, which is probably why it feels like it's disappeared so quickly, because it's been go. But I'm not too bad. I'm struggling with the humidity. I think even more so because where in my workshop where I work by myself, that is air conditioned. And because it's not a huge room, the air conditioning in there is quite good. But it means when I then come out of there, it kicks my arse even more.
It's like when you're on holiday.
Yeah, exactly that. So I'm still getting used to that. But it's not been too bad. Just lots going on, lots trying to organise and juggle. I didn't feel great the last couple of days, just felt a bit there, which is never ideal. Trying to get stuff done. And despite the fact that we've got a million bits of content coming out at the minute, character profiles are impossible to come by at the minute, and like it's genuinely starting to become like a source of stress. I have no idea who to talk about, because I assumed once we got to this kind of part of the year where there's loads of content, that most weeks, especially with brand new characters, there'd be someone for me to talk about, but alas, there is not.
Yeah, they keep holding out on us for like 2 or 3 weeks before they actually give us these new characters and stuff.
But in my infinite wisdom, because I do have infinite wisdom, I realised there was a very interesting character that I've never done a character profile on. Now, I will be honest, I thought you would at least like kind of recognise the name.
I feel like I've heard the name, but at the same time, I'm not sure.
The fact that you know so little is going to make this so much more entertaining. I enjoyed rewatching the video because when we record this, Hori can see me, but I can't see Hori because of the way we record it. So when I was editing the shorts, as I was describing the boys episode 1, rewatching that and seeing your reaction as I spoke through that scene literally was funny. And like, I hate listening to myself talk, but it was worth it just to see some of the expressions you pulled.
What can I say?
So, our character profile this week is Squirrel Girl.
Okay.
Squirrel Girl is a cult icon. As far as I'm concerned, she is one of the characters alongside like the Flash and Batman, who I'll never really do a Superhero Showdown on because she's too OP. It's not worth having the discussion. Like, and like, here's the thing: like, there's going to be people laughing, but they're going to know exactly what I mean. So her real name is Doreen Green.
Okay.
Her parents were Maureen and Damien or Darian or something. So her basically her name is their ship name. And she was born. Now I think this was a bit of a retcon because it was always my understanding that she was a mutant. But apparently she just thought she was a mutant. She actually wasn't a mutant. But she was born with a mutation that gave her squirrel-like abilities.
I thought you were going to say squirrel tail then.
She does have a squirrel tail.
Oh.
That is the only physical characteristic that you can like see easily. She does have a squirrel's tail.
Okay.
When she was very young, she discovered that she could talk and communicate with squirrels. As an additional subset of her powers, but we'll get into her powers near the end because her powers are the least interesting bit. When she was 14, she decided that she wanted to become a superhero. So she tracked down Iron Man and tried to become Iron Man's sidekick.
Right.
He kind of laughed at her because she has squirrel powers.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then Doctor Doom came in and kidnapped him. And she single-handedly marched to Latveria and saved Iron Man and beat Doctor Doom.
Oh.
At the age of 14.
Oh.
Then when she was 15, she teamed up with the Hulk, who had been blinded by a concussion while fighting the Abomination. She then teamed up with this blind Hulk to stop Abomination by using her power over squirrels to get the squirrels to like subdue Abomination, and then telling Hulk where to punch. Some of the one-on-one scalps that she has as canon in the comics include MODOK, the big big head person in the chair. Terax, who I'm unfamiliar with. I believe he's a very powerful alien.
Right.
And Thanos.
Oh.
And just to be perfectly clear here, this Thanos was confirmed by the Watcher to be the real Thanos and not a clone or anything.
So where was Squirrel Girl when we needed her?
Exactly. So her powers are superhuman strength. She has a superhuman jaw. So she's able to bite through a steel door easily.
Tasty.
Because of her super strength and her squirrel-like abilities, she's able to jump over like a medium-sized building, a couple of stories. She can also climb very easily.
Makes sense.
She can see perfectly at night. Her peripheral vision is as clear and sharp as her direct gaze because of her squirrel abilities. And she also has quite a substantial healing factor.
I kind of feel like someone just ticked all the boxes.
The big one for me that shows not only how powerful she is, but how good a person she is. Once upon a time, Galactus, the World Eater, was barreling towards Earth. And she spoke with him. And after a long discussion, not only did Galactus begin to like her, but because of her, he then decided to spare Earth, and she helped him find a planet that had no living creatures on it. It was just trees and nuts and stuff. And he ate that instead.
What?
The most outrageous bit. So, while she's been a superhero, she's fought a lot of people. And she's also turned a lot of supervillains into heroes and just stopped them giving up their villainous ways, essentially.
Right.
At one point, a being who could hop through the multiverse decided that they were going to get together her greatest foes to all fight her. So what it came down to was all of the greatest villains versus her and the Avengers. And they were kind of getting their arse beat. So then all of the people that she stopped being villains came to help, as well as Doctor Doom. And then Galactus got wind of this fight and showed up and stopped the fighting himself. Because why were they trying to hurt his friend Squirrel Girl?
Yeah, they fucked with the wrong person.
Squirrel Girl started off as a bit of a meme character. Then they kind of embraced the meme. And now, because of the amount of times they accidentally memed her, it got to a point where they're like, we kind of memed her beating everyone with no easy way of backing out without a huge retcon. So she's like the most powerful hero we have. So, yeah, don't fuck with Squirrel Girl.
Why do I get the feeling that whoever came up with Squirrel Girl was given like a list of powers and just went, yes.
So, in like her first appearance, it was like another 10 years before she got used again.
I'm not surprised.
So it was sort of like a one shot that just kind of got thrown away, and then they kind of came back to her. But yeah, like I said, not only is she clearly very capable, she's also very compassionate, very kind. She has beaten a lot of people. Your likes of your Deadpools, your Wolverines, basically all of the Avengers, Doctor Doom, Thanos, Galactus. All of your A-listers on both the good and evil side, she's put them down if she needed to. Which is why we will never see her in live action, because she's too OP.
Yeah.
So yeah, so she'll never be in a Superhero Showdown either, because just like the Flash, it's over before it begins. I genuinely don't know who would win between her and the Flash, because both so OP.
I know who beat Squirrel Girl.
Go on.
Grey Squirrel Boy.
Grey Squirrel Boy, nice. Nice. For those of you who don't get it, I have to explain this joke because it's such a fucking niche joke.
Such a Josh joke.
The squirrel native to England is the red squirrel. A very friendly squirrel.
I think they have them in America as well.
I think we took them over there.
Oh.
Yeah. So we took some over to America, and then I think we brought the grey squirrel back from America. Grey. And it turns out the grey squirrel isn't as friendly as the red squirrel.
No, it's more of a rodent.
Yeah, and so basically we have no red squirrels in the UK anymore because the grey squirrels killed all of them.
Yeah, we now protect the red squirrels.
Yeah. because we fucked with the environment again. So that was a very niche joke from Hori there. You should be very proud of him. That was very witty and very quick.
I'm very proud of myself, so
okay.
I'm sure I'll get one laugh.
I hope so, because
probably Luke.
I did enjoy it. Yeah, I did enjoy it. I thought it was very, very good. Okay, so yeah, that Squirrel Girl.
Yeah, she sounds broken as fuck.
So do you now understand what I meant when I said to you yesterday that you weren't even close to being ready?
Like, I was expecting like a bit of a meme hero by the name and how we've not seen her in live action. So I was like, she's obviously a bit of a meme one, so they've kind of just not used her. And then you start just listing off every power possible, and she's just all the villains turn friendly because of her. And it's like, well, feels like someone made like the best meta build character they could, and then was meant for a one shot, and it got used too many times.
Yeah, 100%. It's a D&D character where they would just roll in nat 20s at all times.
Yeah, it's just like.
I tried to make friends with the big ogre who's about to eat me. You're successful.
I roll to seduce.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, let's move on to our plethora of content this week.
So many shows at the moment.
Okay, I would like to start with Kenobi episode 5.
Holy shit.
Because this is the one that requires the least mental from me, because I'm fully just lightsabers. It was so good.
Beautiful.
Obviously, the last kind of 15 minutes steals a lot of the show, so I'm going to try and not work backwards by mistake.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously, I think this episode fully shows that this 6-part series is kind of homaging episodes 1 through 6. Because episode 5, attack on Hoth, ice planet, Empire attacking, they're fortifying. I feel like it had the same kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Our theory about Reva actually wanting Vader dead was true.
Mm-hmm.
Which, to be fair, while I was pretty confident in it, the longer the show went on, the less confident I was of it. So I think they've hit a really sweet spot with that.
Yeah, I think they played her character, or wrote her character really well in the sense of it kind of finally Kenobi figured out what he thought her deal was, but then she kind of shut that down in such a way that you were like, oh, maybe he hasn't like read it correctly, and she is just pissed with the other Jedis. She's
still a dark side character.
Yeah.
Because she's motivated by revenge.
Oh yeah.
And as a result of that, she doesn't care whether Kenobi lives or dies. She's using Kenobi to further what she wants.
But yeah, I think
beautiful.
I think it's more as well like she wants revenge on both of them. Like she blames Kenobi for not being there and helping at the Jedi Temple and stopping Anakin because it was his Padawan. But then also blames Anakin for turning to the dark side.
Yeah.
So she just wants her revenge on both.
Yeah, she's kind of like, it's not your fault you had a shitty dad, so I'm going to punish your shitty dad. But at the same time, you're a grown-ass man who makes his own decisions.
Yeah.
I think... So I said this in the chat. And I'd like to expand on it.
Okay.
So all the way back in 1977, when we got A New Hope, it was pretty immediate that everyone was like, Darth Vader is one of the greatest modern villains.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, as time went on, we got lots of other great villains as well.
Mm-hmm.
So naturally, he dropped off slightly. I think through other Star Wars media since the original trilogy, he has slowly been built back up to one of the powerhouses. I think this series, focusing on Vader in his prime, for me personally, has cemented him as the scariest villain ever.
100% agree.
there is nothing more terrifying than watching this man. So let's be perfectly clear. Throughout this entire show, Reva has been a legitimate threat who we're worried about getting Kenobi.
Mm-hmm.
This man spent 30 seconds fucking embarrassing her.
All right.
She's going at him with everything, and he's like, "Bitch, I don't even need a lightsaber. Sit the fuck down."
Yeah.
Do you know who I am?
Let's not forget, like that. Don't get me wrong. That fight incredibly well showcases like Vader's power. The thing that really got me this episode, which, like you said, when we first saw Vader on the big screen, it was obviously like end of Vader's storyline. He wasn't at his peak. We didn't really get to see his full power and strength when we first saw him. Through Clone Wars and all the different animated stuff and games, like we've kind of seen more of that. And they said that before the series came out, this is an angry Vader, this is a very powerful Vader, and this is the scary Vader. And everyone was a bit like, okay, cool, this will be interesting to see how they showcase this and if they actually manage to do it. When he walks in and grabs the ship and just halts it there,
light work,
slams it down and just rips it like it's paper. I was literally sat on my bed, jaw on the ground, like, holy shit.
Yeah, 100%.
And then when it like then obviously went to Reva, went for her move, I was like, oh, you fucked up now. You fucked up. He's realized he's just lost Kenobi. He's pissed. And you've just chosen the worst possible time to try and take him on. And he just like, the way he kept letting her have a lightsaber back and then he'd just take it off her was such like a play of, I'm the one in control here. You have no chance. And I honestly thought when he had both of them at the end, he was going to do the whole like cross sabers at the neck and slice off the head, but he didn't.
I also love how the entire episode is kind of like it's a parallel to the last time, or what we can only assume is one of the last times that Anakin and Obi-Wan interacted as Master and Padawan.
Mm-hmm.
And we got the flashbacks of that. So like the entire episode is almost like them both remembering that. And it's almost Obi-Wan going, he's still the same person, he's still going to make the same mistakes. And Vader remembering it and going, I'm not going to make them same mistakes. Yes, I'm more powerful than you now, but I also still learnt from you. Obviously, it was brilliant to actually be able to see Hayden again.
Oh, I love that.
I am a little bit upset we didn't get like Clone Wars style armor. I was really hoping we were going to get that. But it was still phenomenal to see it. And it's also, you can tell it's right near the end of them being in together like that, because Anakin is struggling to like.
Yeah, you can see
he's going.
The tendencies that we got to see in the animated series eventually, of like how his character changed and you could see that development to him going more dark side. This is kind of the first time we're actually seeing more of that in live action, and it was so cool to see. And it's like it opened with that flashback, and I was like, it obviously like was only very short, and I was like, no, I want more of this. I want to see them fighting. And then obviously later on it went to it, but like it was really cool to see them both back in like younger selves, like Hayden with his Padawan braid back on, and they were fighting it out. I hope there's like a little bit more of that in the last episode, because I think that stuff really sells.
Yeah.
It's helping showcase that change to the dark side that we kind of missed out on seeing originally in live action in the films. So it's like they're finally getting to showcase that, and I want more of it.
It's also really interesting to see, because Reva didn't die at the end of the episode.
No.
She's not in a good shape, but she does now have the information that could allow her to understand that Vader is Leia's father.
Yep.
Which is very interesting, because obviously Vader doesn't have that information. He works that out during kind of A New Hope into Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
And that's not the easiest information in the world to like. You've got to be careful with that when the original's already there.
Yeah, I think Reva's gonna use it to try and get to Obi-Wan.
Yeah, and
Or
I
she's
gone. I think we might, as a result of her trying to use that information, see Obi-Wan have to kill her.
Yeah.
And he's gonna hate having to do that.
Because obviously he sensed something right at the end, like something felt wrong, and he's gonna realize that I forget what that is. It Hajar, the fake Jedi guy. I forget his character's name. Like he'll eventually realize he lost it and probably put two and two together. I think Reva's gonna go to. She's going to go for Luke with the idea, I think, of either taking him or killing him to get at Vader. But Obi-Wan's going to, like, realize and intervene, and then they're going to fight, and I think he's going to get rid of Reva, and that's why Vader never finds out. But then I think that then cements Obi-Wan watching over Luke because he doesn't know if she did tell anyone else, and he feels he can now definitely not leave Luke.
He's like, okay, Leia's been kidnapped before. She'll be safe on Alderaan because they're not going to let her out of their sight.
Mm-hmm.
Someone needs to be here to look after Luke.
Yeah, and also the fact like he won't know if Reva told anyone or if it's like.
I would also like to take this time to say that message from Bail Organa has further cemented Bail Organa as one of my favorite Star Wars characters.
Oh, he's so good.
He is so good whenever we get him. We had him in the Clone Wars. We saw him in the prequels. Blah 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 blah. He's always brilliant. But that holocron of, I hope you're okay. If I don't hear from you, I'm going to Tatooine because Owen will need help with the boy.
Yeah.
Just instantly, he's like, I hope everything's okay. He loves Leia like it is his own daughter. As far as he's concerned, that is his own daughter. But he is ready to throw his life on the line for a child he does not know, because Obi-Wan told him once upon a time that the child would be important. Mm-hmm. And he's like, if I need to go lay my life on the line for this child, I will. Bail Organa is the absolute fucking goat.
Yeah, the fact that he, from the get-go, and like obviously we saw in the like him understanding the importance of having to protect these kids and what they mean and why they needed to be protected, and even though he's so deep, like in the Senate and in the thick of like all the politics, like he still deep down always understands the real core value of what needs to be done. Just makes him such a great character and like such a great ongoing character to have around.
Yeah, and I'm glad that we've managed to get so much Bail Organa because it's worth every second.
That's definitely someone I didn't think would be such a key character in this series. Because obviously we didn't really know what we were going to be getting. I'm also interested to see, because I don't know if they've said they're doing a second season of Kenobi, but if they are, I wonder if it'll then, because we've obviously only got one episode left.
Yeah.
I wonder if we then get a second season, which is way more focused on Luke.
Maybe. It'll be interesting to see where it goes. I love that we got to see Leia kind of stepping up and being all hands on deck. Like, it's always been within her.
Way mature. Like, oh,
someone needs help. Okay, get me a ladder. I'll get up there and do it. He's like, I don't have time for this right now, princess. And Kenobi's like, hey, the girl knows what she's talking about. If she says she needs a ladder, you get her a goddamn ladder.
Yeah.
It just further cementing that Leia is always and will always be Leia. So you better do what she says. And it also shows even more that Leia is Anakin's daughter, not Padme's daughter, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's got a bit more of a mind of her own.
Mm-hmm.
Another part, like, in this episode that kind of hit was when Tala, the kind of double-cross, the one who's on the inside, when she died and that hold at the end kind of fucking hit hard. They really...
Yeah.
For, like, it was a fairly short scene in a way, and it's like in the thick of everything going on, they really sold that like feeling of people are now willing to die for this like cause, and
the very early days of the rebellion are very clearly cemented right here.
Such a like they've done such a great job, and I think is the director called is it Deborah? I think Deborah's I can't remember, but amazing job. Such a great series so far, and I'm really looking forward to the final episode.
We also got to see a bit more of Obi-Wan reconnecting with the Force himself.
Yeah,
just little bits here and there of him slowly rekindling that. And I'm all in on next week's episode. I'm so ready for it.
There's got to be a Force ghost moment in the last.
I'm really surprised we haven't had one yet.
I think it's going to end with that, and it's like him. That's like his kind of final point. Is like he's fully reconnected, and he has a like moment with. So I don't know.
Qui-Gon.
Yeah, Qui-Gon or.
Go on, get Liam Neeson back for a Force Ghost cameo.
Or get Samuel L. Jackson on.
Mad. No, because apparently Mace Windu's alive.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know what happened.
We're getting a Mace Windu series set around this time as well.
Imagine.
If Samuel L. Jackson wants to come back and be that badass motherfucker again, I'm all in. All in.
Bring the purple lightsaber back.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ms. Marvel episode 2. Wow.
What another great episode.
Such a fucking banger. I love the energy of all of it so much.
It really is. And we said this last week, and we were quoting like the review that we'd read. But like it really is like a comic book on screen.
It's so bright. It's so colourful.
The mix of like the animation and stuff.
Yeah, it makes me feel quite happy just like watching it. And not in the show, what's happening in the show is creating a happy response. Watching it and just engaging in it makes me happy. So how people are they have their happy film that they watch when they want to feel happy. It's not about the content, it's about the show itself. It feels right now like it could be the most rewatchable show Disney have done.
I agree.
Obviously that could change, but right now that's where I'm at with it.
I feel like it really sells that feeling of like the teenage years and like your imagination in the teenage years like that. It really puts that kind of period of a life onto the screens. It's like really relatable.
Well, we get the parallel at the beginning of the episode, don't we, with her going into school compared to the first episode. The first episode, she's really closed off and like bumping off people and not like too scared to ask the girls to move to get to her locker. Then in this episode, she's like walking in, fist bumping people. And let's be completely honest, it's how everyone imagines they'd be if they got superpowers randomly. Any child who's grown up enjoying superhero content has imagined having superpowers, and they're all like, "Oh, it'd be so cool! I'd be the coolest person ever."
Even though no one would know.
Yeah, like, oh, no one's gonna notice. No one's gonna be great, and it's like no one gets to live it. But obviously, you have to make it seem like she is that person because she is. She's just a superhero mega fan who also, by some bullshittery, has ended up with powers. And it gets to be a proper coming of age kind of story where she gets to grow up and realize the importance of what she's taken on.
Yeah.
I know some people are going to hate it, but if they do hate it, they can fucking leave. The way they are showing the Muslim faith is brilliant, focusing on the community of all of it, and like how it is a very much community-driven religion is really well done. The detail to showing them taking their shoes off and washing themselves properly before they go in, and the separation between the men and the women during prayer, very important. It's very honest.
Yeah, and like also showing like the actual, I don't want to say it's not an issue, but like that understanding and showcasing the blending of the kids have the issue of trying to be a kid that like everyone else in school is like with their phones and their modern stuff, but like also still trying to keep the place traditional. It's like those worlds are blending, and they're really showcasing like what a kid would be going through in those situations of like.
Well, yeah, it's the character of Nakia is brilliant. She's clearly mixed race. So she has a mum or dad. I don't think it's actually explicitly said who's who. Not that it matters. I don't think it is. But one of her parents clearly isn't a Muslim and from the Muslim faith, and then you've got another one that is. So she's like, okay, where do I fit in all of this? For white people, I've always been too ethnic. For my cousins who are Muslim, I've always been too white. Where do I fit in? And she was like, so I wear my headscarf, but it's not for them, it's for me, and it makes me feel like I'm me. But it's also they've not just kind of gone, oh, Muslim women are modest, so they're modest. She's modest, but if you look, she's still dressed very fashionably and very bright and colourful.
Yeah, she's finding that blend of dressing how she wants to do in the 21st century or whatever, in the more modern era, but still keeping her traditions in wearing a headscarf and incorporating what is her and her culture, which is what she wants to do.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think they're doing a really good job with that. I also really liked how the Eid celebration they were doing, and they showed, like, they went through all the different little cliques of groups that they had names for.
The Illumin Art.
Yeah, I love that. The Illuminantes.
I genuinely paused it because to have a good chuckle at it. It was really, really funny. But that is always the impression that I've got from the outside looking in, and I'm sure there is some basis to it. The idea that all the aunties know what's going on, they know everything, you can't hide anything.
Well, they all love to gossip, don't they?
Yeah, exactly.
That's in any culture.
It's the same as any community. If you allow all of the aunties to sit there and talk for too long, they're going to say stuff they shouldn't say. It's always the way it's been.
Do you know, I also loved when she went up to Kamala's dad.
Yeah.
And fully just whipped out the "your daughter" card. Like, are you going to really ruin your daughter's day?
100%.
Putting him against his best friend and just like hitting him with the, what about your daughter, though?
I also loved Bruno turning up to the Eid festival in traditional clothing. But he was also really worried about it. He's like, does it look good? And you've got Kamala's mum absolutely adoring Bruno, going, oh, you look lovely, better.
And then Kamala's brother going,
he's like,
too bright.
It too bright? He's like, it's a little bright. And it's just really nice. Because Kamala in the comics is so huge on family. And she's Muslim, and it's not like she's like, once she becomes a hero and she interacts with God, she gives up on her faith. She is still a Muslim. So it's very important that they show the Muslim faith fairly and honorably, instead of just going, oh yeah, she's Muslim, move on.
Yeah, and I think what they're kind of able to do with Bruno is they're showing how, like, the Muslim faith and these celebrations, they are welcoming to friends that aren't necessarily of Muslim faith. And it's showing you that, like, look, Bruno's you make an effort to respect and understand their culture to be welcomed in properly, like you would expect anyone to. And it's a really good way of kind of showing, look, they're welcoming to you. You just got to show, like, understanding and, like, effort on your part to kind of respect what's going on. And in a way, a bit of a lesson to people of how, look, everyone can be friendly and all welcoming to each other.
Yeah, 100%. But I really, really enjoyed it. Now,
the twist at the end, though.
I'm almost certain that the person at the end was her grandmother.
Yeah,
it looked like it was the same actress. I know we didn't get like a clear shot of the person she was seeing in her visions, who we're led to believe is her grandmother, but it looked like it was the exact same person.
Yeah, I love at the end we got that twist, and instantly in my head I'm like, Cameron is actually her cousin.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. I'm like, so obviously you see Cameron's car pull around. I'm like, okay, A, why the fuck is he there? B, why is she getting in and shouting his name when he's not supposed to know who she is? And then she gets in and takes her helmet straight off. I'm like, woman, you are ruining your secret identity right now for a boy you've literally just met. Keep it in your pants. And then it like cuts back to there. I'm like, oh, so he clearly already knows, but that's not the point. Engage your brain, Kamala.
Yeah, that was the thing. She just jumped in and said, Cameron. I'm like, he's gonna be like, who the fuck are you? And then she just I'm like, she's just fully revealing to him, and then it was the twist of boom, we already know about you. But like, also, can we talk about the first thing I thought was, how the hell is a high school guy driving a car like that?
Well, I mean, clearly he's got a super evil mum.
Obviously, but we didn't know that. He's like the new student and he's driving around.
Americans
I'm like,
are weird,
what?
though. Americans are
true,
weird.
but still. Also, she drove that car so much better than the one in the lesson. Even if it was a bit rough, but like.
I also loved the intenseness of saving the kid. And then we're like, oh yeah, she saved him, and then she fucking drops him again.
Yeah, because
and I literally didn't breathe.
Flashback.
I was like, there's no way they're gonna let a little kid die, and then she like fucking bounced him.
Yeah,
off, like,
breaks his
floors.
Shows that
like, Jesus.
She was getting a bit. It kind of shows that she was getting too overconfident already, and like that, having to build that confidence and understanding of like her limits and what she can do.
Well, we've not got to see like a proper rookie hero in the MCU in so long.
Probably the last time was when we first got introduced to Spider-Man in MCU, when he was like.
Even then.
Well, yeah, but
even then he wasn't that much of a rookie.
No, he wasn't. But like he was causing a bit more chaos than he needed, like things like that. Like he was a bit sloppy with the way he was. But yeah, I think we're gonna see her kind of getting a bit too overconfident as a kid would with powers, and then getting 100%. burnt again, and having to like actually build up that confidence and skill.
Yeah, but I'm absolutely in awe of this show, and I cannot wait for more of it. The action in this episode was brilliant. The pacing was really fun, bright, colourful, funny.
The bit when they were training on the roof, and then she dropped, and then she's like, "You've got to let me go." And he goes, and just lets go of her, and she drops like 2 feet.
Well, here's the thing: she said that, and then it cuts away for like a second, and I was like, "I swear she's just like a foot off the ground." Yeah. I was like, no, I don't think she was. And then it cuts back, and he drops her, and I'm like, "See?"
Yeah, she's just.
It's just I'm really really looking forward to it. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be so good.
I'm looking forward to what's gonna be this, like, the police are obviously gonna come and looking for her. But we saw at the end, like they're well, it's not even the police, it's whatever that department is.
Yeah.
They are very interested in her. So there's gonna be obviously a lot of this, them trying to catch her, and she's trying to figure out what's going on.
When Bruno was doing the power scans, he noticed that the power that was coming from inside her.
Yes, I was like, "Oh, Connor's gonna be like, they're gonna do the thing."
They are laying the groundwork to save face and change the powers. They're gonna go. This bracelet's like a family heirloom that allows us to interact with our powers while we're learning to hone them, and then when you are fully grown up, they'll emerge properly, and then you'll already know what to do. Kind of blah bullshit. So like the bracelet's supposed to be like training wheels to help you engage with your powers. And I'm okay, because that's actually a nice way for them to do that without them having to go, sorry, we fucked up, you guys are right, while also still giving the outcome that we want.
I think also it's just like is a good tool for them to showcase the build up of her figuring it out.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure in an interview the directors have also confirmed that this isn't the final like way her powers are going to be. So I think you are right in the sense of like the brace is going to go and it's going to be
all her.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited. And once again, Iman Vellani is smashing it.
Oh yeah.
She encompasses this character so well. She is so likable, and it's so easy, and I cannot wait for more.
One last thing, can we talk about how the kid she saved stole the trainers?
Yeah. Oh my god, I didn't think anyone else was going to notice that. Yes, he was wearing the Versace trainers. I literally said that to Jenna. Jenna, if you're listening, I know you'll be a couple of weeks behind. I fucking told you.
Yeah, I saw them. I was like, little
shit. Thank you for reminding me of that.
Little shit stole the trainers.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, that's the Droofy. Thank you for reminding me of that. Yes. Yep. That had completely slipped my mind, but I did notice that while we watched it. I was like, wait, that's her trainers. They were just so brightly coloured. They were definitely
they're such a unique shape as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, The Boys episode 4. You're all caught up on The Boys, aren't you, Hori? There's no way you'd still not be caught up.
Next question.
Well, I'm not holding back on spoilers, so you're just going to have to
I know, it's fine.
Before you get up to this point.
You think I'll remember?
So, after episodes 1, 2, and 3, we were kind of like I said, they kind of set up where we were at in the world, and they were like, okay, cool. Now we're going to get into this season's story, and that's what we did. So that Huey's now worked out that his boss is also a superhero, or not a superhero, has superpowers, and is the one that blew up all the heads of the people in Congress not that long ago. So he feels like a dick for working with an evil soup this whole time. He goes with his tail between his legs back to Butcher. Homelander has now got his mojo back and is being a super cunt. And is pretending that him and Starlight are boyfriend and girlfriend. So that's where we come back into this episode. So they're trying to find, the boys are trying to find the super weapon that might be able to kill Homelander. Starlight is trying to round up other soups to help when it comes down to it, just in case the weapon isn't enough and they need to weaken him first. So she's got Queen Maeve on her side. She's got the new guy on her side. It's looking good. A-Train's being bullied by Homelander, so they reach out to A-Train. He's on board. We are looking A-okay to be able to kill Homelander. They fly out. The boys fly out to Russia to go get this weapon. Huey finds out that Butcher has been taking Temp V. Which is, of course, completely against what they believe in.
Of course.
But Huey's like, hey, give me some. Butch takes some more Temp V because they don't know what they're going into in this Russia base. And it then turns out that Huey stole some, like a little bitch. Kimiko gets used as a hitman in the most bizarre scene of using dildos as weapons I've ever seen. I literally don't know how else to describe it. She breaks into a Russian oil gops. No, she doesn't break into. She pretends to be a prostitute along with loads of other prostitutes for this Russian oil gok. He then opens up a cabinet full of illegal toys, and basically they're all just dildos, but inspired by the Seven.
Okay.
Yeah. And she uses said dildos to kill him and the gods.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
It's a bit much, I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's the boys, so a bit much is where we thrive. Kimiko obviously very unhappy being used as a human weapon because she hates her powers as it is, and now she's just being used as a weapon. They then break into the Russian facility to find this weapon.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of fuck it up a little bit and have to kill the guards, which then shows the rest of the boys that Butcher has powers, which obviously they're all pissed about. And then Huey shows that he stole some of the Temp V, which they're even more pissed about.
Seems like a great group.
We then find out that the weapon is in fact Soldier Boy, who's apparently been dead for 50 odd years, being kept alive Winter Soldier styles.
Ah.
But apparently his powers have changed now. He does a big concussive blast of energy that beats the shit out of Kimiko, who's supposed to be able to heal from anything, but she's not healing. Oh shit. Looks like his new power is he can take people's power.
Oh.
But Mother's Milk, one of the boys, absolutely despises Soldier Boy because Soldier Boy killed his family. So now Mother's Milk has to deal with the fact that his boss is taking Temp V, one of his co-workers is taking Temp V, one of his co-workers is dying right in front of him, his other co-worker's in love with his co-worker who's dying in front of him, and they're going to have to track down, not kill, and work with the guy who killed his family to take down the other arsehole who's holding basically all of America hostage. They don't know it yet, but he is.
So just a small issue.
Oh, wait, there's more.
Oh, God.
Starlight and Homelander are out for dinner as a publicity stunt, and Homelander decides that they're going to fly home. So he picks her up and flies her to a roof. Everyone's like, oh my God, he's going to threaten to drop her. But no, they land on a roof to only find out that the member of the Seven that Starlight was relying on to help mount this offensive against Homelander, Supersonic, who's also her ex-boyfriend, is dead because A-Train ratted about their plan and he killed Supersonic quite brutally and left his bloody corpse on the roof as a reminder to Starlight that he can't be stopped. So this week, in terms of progression towards killing Homelander, has been a bit of an L for the boys. I can't lie to you.
Yeah, sounds like it, honestly.
But it was brutal. It was brilliant, and I'm really excited for the next episode to see where this shit goes. Huey already looks like he's addicted to Temp V. Butcher is obviously still taking Temp V because he thinks he needs it. The boys are in disarray. Kamiko's dying. Homelander's more powerful than he's ever been. And one of the superheroes who was going to help them kill him is now dead. And they've got to somehow track down Soldier Boy, not die to Soldier Boy, and get Soldier Boy to help them kill Homelander. So some light work, to be fair.
Yeah, just the average Tuesday, honestly.
Honestly. This is obviously moving towards the Hero-gasm storyline, which I still haven't read. I'm staying strong on that. Because I want to experience it for the first time, and then I'll go back and look at it and see what they changed. Because they do make little tweaks, which is fine. But the way people talk about this Hero-gasm storyline means it's going to be fucking outrageous. And with how outrageous some of the stuff that's really been in The Boys has been, the fact that people are like, you're still aren't ready, makes me genuinely a little bit nervous to watch this episode. I think it's going to be episode 6. So yeah, I'm genuinely a little bit nervous to see how that kind of
what happens.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll get caught up at some point.
You need to watch it because it's. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's just so entertaining. And like, especially with all the stuff we've got going on right now, I'm covered in all my bases of nerd brain itch. I've got my 40 minutes a week of Kenobi, which is just, this is awesome. I've got Miss Marvel, which is quite refreshing from Marvel, bright and colourful and fun. And then I've got The Boys where I get to sit and go, this is fucking diabolical. And yeah, it's just scratching all the itches right now. It's great. But if I had one more itch that needed to be scratched, it would be being able to watch Spider-Man No Way Home, but even more of it in maybe like a super mega fun cut or something.
That'd be really useful. Like, imagine.
And you know, it'd be great if they could just hold off a little while so that we get past the summer stuff, so that they can really be at the forefront of our attention. Maybe sometime around early September.
Really capitalize on a lull.
Yeah. Early September. Well, it seems like Disney and Sony have agreed to do just that.
So, oh my God, are they listening?
No Way Home is getting a re-release extended cut coming out on September 2nd.
Yeah, we thought it wasn't going to happen.
I thought if it was going to happen, it would have happened a bit sooner. But obviously they looked at their books and went, there's a gap here.
Probably.
I'm going to go watch it. I'd be stupid not to.
Oh,
Do I think it's going to make the film better? Probably not. Will it be fun to see stuff that we didn't see? Of course. But it's getting to experience a film that I really enjoy in the cinema again with new stuff. So what's not to like? By the sounds of it, it's going to have more of Andrew and Toby in it.
Yeah, more bromance going on.
Yeah, the extra stuff seems to be coming from that third part where we know exactly what the situation is. So it'll be really good. I'm really curious to see. I'm really curious to see if they go, there's like an extra half an hour of footage, and I'm like, you know what? It was a good idea to cut that half an hour. If I'm like, you know what? As someone who can sit in a cinema for 4 hours and not really care, I wish they'd have kept that in as the original cut. We'll see.
I think it'll be a situation of that was really good. Like the extra shots and scenes, like great addition, super fun. But at the same time, like the story didn't need them. But I'm not mad that they weren't in, but I'm also very glad that they did the extended. I think that's how it'll be.
Yeah. What I'm just checking right now is I can't remember if it was due to come out yesterday or next Wednesday. Umbrella Academy Season 3.
No idea.
Coming on Wednesday. But it's Thursday today, so that must be next Wednesday.
Must
So
be.
I won't have actually watched any of it by next Thursday. Probably. I might watch some of it. We'll see. We'll see.
I won't.
But Umbrella Academy is another show that I really, really enjoy. We've had some shenanigans. End of season 2, they've come back to the main time, but they're not the Umbrella Academy anymore. It's the Sparrow Academy, and it's 6 different people. It'll be interesting to see how this goes. Obviously, Elliot Page has transitioned to Elliot Page since the end of the last series. And the writer of the comics, who is involved with the show, has given his blessing, and as it has happened, Vanya has transitioned into Victor, so that Elliot Page is still involved in the show, but the character that he's playing is still a him, and still aligns with their personal gender. I don't know how that's going to be dealt with in the show. Whether they just kind of ignore the fact that Vanya ever existed and it was always Victor, or if they are going to go, Vanya is trans and has transitioned into Victor. I don't know what they're going to do with that. But if anyone tries to have an issue with that at the end of the day, when the writer of the Umbrella Academy comics has gone, yeah, no, Vanya's Victor now, cool, whatever, you don't get to have an issue.
Yeah, you can't complain.
You just don't. You don't get to. It's his character. If he was like, no, Vanya needs to be a girl, they would have had to recast, obviously. Which would have sucked, but if that's what it needs to be, that's what it needs to be. But if the writer themselves is going to go, no, Vanya can be Victor, that's fine. No skin off my nose. Actually, that's really cool. I wish I'd have thought of it. You just gotta eat. You just gotta take that L. Actually, not even now. It's a dub for everyone else. So I'm really curious to see how this series goes with the whole. We're back in our time. We fixed all our other problems, but wait, we didn't fix them right. I'm always a fan of time travel hijinks resulting in unforeseen problems. But there's not been a lot of information on like what kind of interaction is. Are the Sparrow Academy like instantly going to be able to get them, or are they going to be like, get the fuck out of our house, and then they have to work out what's gone wrong? So I'm really curious to see how that goes. I'm hoping for some kind of superhero / Back to the Future vibes. So yeah, that's all I've really got to say on that, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I haven't watched any Umbrella Academy.
It's really good, but it's also quite a niche.
I've never like anything like all the Umbrella Academy stuff, and like it's all. I've never really got into any of that.
What I will say is, if you're on the fence about it, when you watch it, you'll find it unnecessarily confusing at times. Like, unless you're like actively like, oh, I really want to watch that, you'll just kind of go, oh, it probably doesn't need to be that complicated. But obviously, when you are into when you're into something, you're like, oh, I love how complicated it is. There's more for me to think about.
Yeah. I get that.
Onto our little news segment that we've kind of been slowly building because stuff's always happening.
Yeah. News of the week.
Gorr the Good Butcher has apparently received the best ever fan response to a villain for an MCU film in test screenings.
They're doing well. These test screenings recently are going well for different things.
Yeah, I don't recall ever seeing this much news about test screenings. I don't know if it's just since starting this podcast, my Twitter feed has
showing you now
changed slightly and matured slightly away from just fans discussing fan theories to more legitimate news around the films, or if it's just the kind of information that gets leaked more now. I don't know.
Maybe.
But it's really nice to know that apparently Gorr's one of the better villains we've ever had in the MCU. I'm not surprised that Christian Bale put in a good performance, but an actor can only act up to the script they're given.
True. But I'm not surprised at all, like you.
Not Christian Bale is a phenomenal actor.
I'm really excited for 4. I think it's going to be, again, another film that's really going to showcase the trajectory of the MCU.
Indeed.
Feels like every film at the moment is like unlocking another clue to what the hell's going on now.
It feels like there's a lot more creative freedom
Mm.
because they're like, we're pumping out so much stuff now. We don't need everyone to like your film because there's enough people that we just need enough of them to like it. So
every film's going to be a profit, so it's like
exactly. They need like 6 really, really genuinely bad films in a row to stop making money, and even then, I don't think it'd happen. I mean, look at Fast and Furious; they still rake money and hand over fist.
How they ruined one of my favorite franchises as a kid.
Any opportunity to get a little dig in at Fast and Furious for the shit show they've become. Anyway,
they were doing so well up until 5.
On to some really weird fucking news. This wasn't in the running order I sent you yesterday, but is in the updated one I sent you today.
Saw the updated, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Okay, so last week we spoke about the fact that Joker 2 script's on the way. Which is obviously fantastic. Then over the course of this week, this news has got more and more absurd, and I'm genuinely starting to think I've been trolled, but I don't know. So it started off earlier in the week that Joker 2 might be looking at Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. Which I was like, you know what? As long as I have Joaquin Phoenix, I can see that.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga has acted in a number of films and hasn't been bad. She's been absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And I think that could work. And then another day passed. Now all of a sudden, apparently, it's going to be a musical. I'm just like,
not the direction I thought it would go.
S'il vous plaît. Okay, so there is one way I'm okay with this. If it's like, so you know how like traditional operas are done, where it's like they sing everything. If it's done like that, I'm in. If it's a musical like High School Musical or Grease or something like that, where it's like doing something very normal and then burst into song, not so much.
Just the thought of Joker bursting into song as he's like robbing a bank.
Yeah. If it's like the whole thing is an opera because he's that fucking doolally, it could work.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. It's still like,
yeah, it's still weird as fuck, but like I'm willing to give it a go. I mean, it's further proof that once you've got someone like me hooked on this stuff, I'm gonna go see any old shit. But
if it turns out to be true, someone took creative freedom with this a little bit too far.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, that might be like Lady Gaga saying she'll only do it if it's a musical.
Yeah, she sings.
Actually, Lady Gaga is on the shortlist, but she's not their number one choice, so it probably won't happen. Or maybe they've heard that rumor, they've gone, we're not going to quash that because that's going to keep us in the news cycle for a little while.
Well, yeah, they just let it run, and then less people are going to actually figure out what the actual.
But I mean, it's something to keep an eye on.
Do you know what it probably? I wouldn't be surprised if it stemmed from like someone the director's thoughts, or like someone on the script writing just throwaway comment to someone they know was just like, oh, one point we considered making it into a musical or something like, and like just some throwaway idea that like, oh yeah, we had this idea with it, but we haven't, and then someone's taken that and run with it.
Do you know what it kind of reminds me of? Have you seen the film Bohemian Rhapsody with Rami Malek?
Yes.
So you know when they're talking about the song Bohemian Rhapsody, he's like, okay, so what happens now? He's like, oh, well, this is where the operatic section's going to go. And he's like, oh, right, the operatic section. It feels like that. They were sitting there having a meeting, and they're like, and we're going to make it a musical. And they're like, going to make it a musical. It's like, yeah, oh, okay. But then no one laughs. And they're like, oh, that wasn't a joke. He's serious. It's going to be a musical. Ah, okay, well, let's see how this goes. I don't see it actually being a musical. No. I'm sure this is miscommunication somewhere. Someone's going, oh, Lady Gaga only does musicals, therefore this must be a musical as well, or something.
It was someone who's in a somewhat position of this information could be true. They've told it to some news thing and they've gone, yeah, you're from a rough, like, you might know if this is true or not. So, yeah, we'll run this.
Yeah, it does feel like a 2 + 2 = 5 situation.
But who knows?
Like that, if it's done right, it could be one of them pieces where we look at it and we go, it's a bit off the wall, but wow, does it work?
If it's done right, Batman 2 might be a musical.
From Robert Pattinson. And this got added literally 10 minutes before we started recording. Venom 3 script is being worked on actively. In fact, based on the picture that Tom Hardy posted on his Instagram, it looks like they might have finished the first draft of it at least.
I wonder if there'll be more of an actual strong connection now to the MCU.
So do I.
Because it's like, going off what the writers and directors said for Venom 2 is, they actually apparently, I think, must have known what was coming with Spider-Man. But like, my understanding is they did that post-credit scene as kind of like a, we're doing this, maybe this will let us tie in.
You've got to remember, Sony make
a
Spider-Man MCU film still. It's just they have Disney production staff there. So they knew exactly what was coming. They had that script already.
Which is why I think they did the thing at the end of Venom 2 as kind of like a, hey, look, we've just done this. Why don't you allow us to tie it in?
Yeah.
And then Disney's gone, yeah, that'd be cool. Okay. And now it's going to be interesting to see where they take Venom from here, because obviously he left a little bit of himself behind.
I'm really unsure how you pull off a Venom trilogy without Spider-Man in it ever.
I wonder.
So if they don't have Spider-Man in this, and they have him fighting another symbiote again, just fucking write it off.
I think it'll start exactly where it left with him getting sent back.
That would make sense.
And I think it's gonna be, because they were figuring it out, and the plan was to go and like speak to Spider-Man, and like, I think it's then gonna go into the whole thing of like how Venom, because he's a hive mind, knew about, and it's like gonna go into all like explaining that, and then maybe it's some trying to travel across the multiverse to get back.
I see your logic, and raise you one Sony Studios.
Yeah, but the Venom films have been good.
They've been okay.
They've been their best superhero content apart from Spider-Man, which is not a hard thing to achieve really when you look at the other things they've produced. But
I'm sorry, El Muerto is going to win so many Oscars.
Imagine this is just setting up that film.
Oh yeah, all
no Spider-Man.
El Muerto.
But it'd be nice if there is like, this is them tying like this next one properly ties Venom into the MCU.
It would be nice. Still don't see it happen. It'd be nice. I love Venom. I'd love to see him in the MCU. So much fun to be had.
Or he ends up going to one of the other Spider-Man universes.
Anything else we need to discuss?
Not that I'm aware of.
Let me open the Cutscene Combos Twitter real quick and look at our recommended and see if there's
anything's showing up.
I feel like every week we finish recording and like 20 minutes later something happens.
I know what you mean. Something with trending or...
Okay, so... Okay. I don't...
Okay.
So this might be a meme similar to the Morbius re-release meme. Or if Batman Twitter is that just on their shit again. Release the Schumacher cut is currently trending. The Schumacher cut of Batman Forever. You know, the one with bat nipples and George Clooney.
That's gotta just be them memeing.
And just Ezra Miller once again,
Oh,
but we're not going to get into them
no.
because I don't want to give them any more airtime. All I will say is I hope they are found and arrested for the safety of the child that is with them. So Superhero Showdown it is.
Mm-hmm. On to the first of round two.
Yeah. We're into round 2 now, where shit gets real. Same rules apply. Neutral environment.
Mm-hmm.
No shit they don't normally have.
Mm-hmm.
Bloodlusted. They are there to kill the other person. Hercules versus Luke Cage.
One is a god, one is a man.
My issue is I don't know if Hercules has anything on him that can break Luke's skin.
Does he need to break Luke's skin?
Kind of. Because I'm pretty confident Luke will be able to break his skin. Because Luke is super strong as well.
Yeah. I suppose it depends on what is Hercules' weapons.
I just don't know if he's got a sword, if it's made of a metal that would be able to cut Luke Cage's skin.
He might have Olympian swords.
Hercules Marvel weapons.
I'm trying to. It's whether or not he has them like on him all the time, because that's obviously our rule. Is like it's nothing that they wouldn't normally have.
1 second. Marvel fandom is open. I'm just going down to his weapons section.
I mean, there's some golden mace, is what I'm seeing.
Golden mace and the sword of Policius,
which are both. Golden mace is made of adamantium.
I don't believe adamantium can cut skin.
And forged by Olympians.
They're both made of adamantium. Can adamantium
break Luke? Doing our research on the spot.
Hey, you can't say it's not raw.
True.
Can adamantium cut Luke? Okay, if it can, he's done. The way they've said that, I don't like that. Okay, adamantium can cut Luke Cage's skin. Okay, cool. Luke Cage loses. Easy. That was my only question.
Here on Google, what can break through Luke Cage's skin? First thing, adamantium.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool. Luke Cage loses. Easy. GG.
I don't think it'll be super easy, but
yeah, but like Hercules will be a bit stronger, a bit faster, and if he has something that can cut Luke Cage's skin, he's more durable.
Yeah.
So he has him beat in all of the categories, and it's just whether it's quick or not is irrelevant. Luke Cage just doesn't win it. Especially
he's just gonna get cut, like slowly weathered down through cuts and
exactly.
breaks or
and like Hercules is a warrior
and a god.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, I wouldn't want to start shit with Luke Cage, but if I'm gonna start shit with Luke Cage, I'd like to be a Greek god. Yeah,
let's be honest. Luke Cage is a hero for the general streets against. He's meant to be pitted against your general criminal with a gun and a knife, not a Greek god with a adamantium sword. So he would definitely be out of his depth. And I agree. Like Hercules is going to win.
Indeed, he is.
Which was probably maybe one of our more straightforward.
Yeah.
It took a little bit of looking up for us, but
yeah, I'm now really glad that I didn't bother to think to look at that before.
Because you would have walked in and gone, Hercules wins.
Luke Cage gets slapped. Done.
You can't say we don't do these properly.
Yeah, I mean, that was my real question of it. Like I said right at the beginning, before we started Googling stuff, does he have anything that's going to be able to cut his skin? If not, a little bit more difficult. But
yeah, if he's just...
since he was... If they just pound away at each other, maybe eventually he just gives him such a bad concussion his brain turns to...
Or break his bone. But yeah, Hercules wins. Hercules moves on.
Easy.
Is that
next
on
week,
to the third or the final round of his half?
That is on to the... So Hercules is now in the hero final.
The hero final.
Representing Marvel. So up until now, we've had like Marvel versus Marvel over there. He's going to be going up against someone from DC, which is going to make it a bit more complicated.
More interesting.
So he will be going up against the winner of next week's matchup, Martian Manhunter versus Cyborg.
Should be interesting.
My brain's already melting trying to work it out. That'd be very interesting. Well, I think that is about it from all of us over here. All of us, yeah. There's a production team of 37 people.
Yeah, they all live inside my brain.
Yeah. Yada yada yada. Only 3% of you are subscribed.
Yes.
Subscribe, like the bell thingy. Share. Do jumping jacks on one leg so the Babadook doesn't get you. Other stuff like that. Funny words.
Avoid any grandfather clocks.
Yes, that's a Stranger Things thing that I saw on the internet, apparently, when Venica, who's a D&D character, I thought, but apparently he's in Stranger Things, is out to get you. Well, you'll see a grandfather clock
everything in Stranger Things has been D&D related.
I don't play D&D and I haven't watched Stranger Things.
Literally, everything from Stranger Things has been D&D themed. People don't realize...
lazy.
People don't realize they're watching D&D live action.
So what's that? Are you telling me some motherfucker literally just recorded his D&D sessions and sold it to Netflix? Because that's big brain.
It's obviously not like direct representation, but a lot of the characters and themes and ideas are taken from D&D, which is obviously where the writers probably played a ton of D&D as a kid, and why D&D is played by the kids in the show to show that like parallel. But yeah, little side thing. But yeah, next week's episode.
Would it be an episode of cutscene convos if we didn't diverge randomly, especially right at the fucking end of the episode, because we still haven't learned how to get out cleanly?
I'm gonna say this next week's episode will be normal. It'll be a bit of a rush. Well, a bit of a turnaround on my end to get it up.
You guys won't notice anything. It'll be panic stations on our side.
I'll be fine. Everything will be normal. The week after
could be scuffy. Just
I'm gonna put it out now. If there is an episode, it won't be my beautiful face. It'll be a more beautiful face in the terms of Josh.
Okay, but you said on that Thursday you would like to go out for drinks for your birthday.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you what. We will find a way of getting an episode to you guys for that week if we hit 100 subscribers by then. So that's like 13 more subscribers. Well, if we manage to hit 13 more subscribers before that episode is due to be recorded, we will find a way of getting you an episode that week. If not,
the week after will be a jam-packed episode.
The week after that will be 2 hours, and you can go and watch it at your local cinema.
Imagine.
Many cinemas may not apply.
That Thursday the 30th is going to be scuffed.
Yeah, it's going to be a madness. It might be a semi-drunken 30-minute booster episode from a pub somewhere. We'll work it out. But if you definitely want an episode that week, your job is to make sure we get to 100 subscribers. That's it. If there's not 100 subscribers, we can't guarantee anything. That's it from all of us. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you all.
Catch you in the next episode.
See you next week.